Welcome in to another episode of Foreigner Loves
Filipina!
2 months in the Philippines, and now we're heading home. But this flight isn't the story. The story's about what almost didn't happen. 6 years ago, I stood at a crossroads, terrified, alone, convinced I was too old for second chances. This video is about the moment I almost chickened out. A moment, a single brave moment, that gave this old, broken American a second chance in life. But before I tell you that story, let me tell you where we've been. We've been to Biliran, Manila, Angeles, Subic, Northern Luzon, Iloilo, and Coron. We've eaten more pancit and lumpia than I can count. We've island hopped, hiked waterfalls, climbed the mountains, and spent countless hours with Melanie's family. Moments I know many men watching this dream of experiencing themselves one day. And now we're tired, genuinely, deeply tired. The kind of tiredness where you just want your own bed, your own bathroom. Manila's International Airport, Terminal 1. Before you can even enter the building, they check your ticket. Okay, we just got here to Manila Airport, Terminal 1. Getting ready to get try to check in. Terminal 1. For our flight to New York. We're here almost 5 hours before the takeoff. We had to check out of the Airbnb anyhow, and it was like we might as well wait here than wait somewhere else. And
Get something to eat.
We'll get something to eat here, and we'll see how things go, because the lines here can be insane. So we'll see here in a minute what the lines are like. What did they ask you for though? You needed your passport,
I need my green card,
your
passport.
extension, and your driver's license. We made it to the lounge with about 3.5 hours before boarding. We find somewhere comfortable to wait, grab some food, power up devices, and just breathe. All right, guys, we made it through everything, made it to our gate. We're actually at one of the lounges right near our gate. We had about 3.5 hour wait before
Boarding.
well, not before boarding, but before flight leaves. So we got a pretty long delay. So we're glad we were able to get into one of the lounges and have a little food.
Yeah.
Make sure everything's powered up. And say goodbye to the Philippines for now. She made a comment in the lounge that stuck with me. She said it's always a mixed feeling leaving the Philippines. Part of her wants to go home to Virginia, to our life there, to our routines, to our comfort. But a part of her, probably the bigger part, wants to stay here with her family, in this place that shaped her, where everything is familiar and warm and hers. But she follows me home anyway, because that's who she is. And sitting there in that lounge, watching her sleep, I start thinking, not about the upcoming flight home, but about the flight that started everything. Back in 2019, I wasn't running to the Philippines. I was running from a life that had already half killed me. Divorced, burnout, telling myself every night that being alone was better. I swore I was done with women, done with hope, done with all of it. But late at night, when the house gets quiet and the lies are harder to hide, I still wanted it. I wanted to matter to someone again. I just wouldn't say it out loud. A lot of you won't say it out loud either. You sit in the same dark house, same recliner, same silence like I did, telling yourself it's too late, that decent women your age are gone, that the young ones only want money, that you're too old, too broke, too damaged, too whatever. I'm here to tell you, I was 51, more damaged than most of you, but somewhere under all that damage, I found the courage, and I got on that damn plane, because hope doesn't die easy. Sometimes it just hides behind a $900 plane ticket. All right, guys, we're here at the gate. There's our PR 126.
Yeah.
We had to go through a third security check.
So much security.
I bet you we have shown our passports 6 times, maybe.
Yeah. And then boarding
It's
pass.
a little ridiculous. It's just, you got to kind of roll with the punches here in the Philippines. But I will say that the paperwork and the documentation, and it just drives you crazy. I mean, it's like in everything. Like they just make everything so hard. And like, why you got to go through security so much? Why do you got to go through immigration when you're leaving? Why do you have to have the health document when you're leaving? It's just like, oh my gosh, man. It's the Philly Willy, as they say. And you just got to roll the punches. And the best thing I can tell you is be patient and do not throw any attitude. Because as a foreigner, you throw attitude, it's not going to be received well. But our plane is here. The plane is sitting right over there. And
What time is our boarding? 6:40 you said?
6:40, so we got about another
20 more minutes or
10 minutes. We're only one plane ride away from being back in good old America. Our seats got changed. We paid extra for row 35, window and aisle, praying for an empty middle. Instead, they stuck us in 64, last row, right by the toilets. The agent just shrugged. "Plane is full, sir." Nothing she could do. Screw it. Seats don't matter anymore. Delays don't matter. Bathroom smell doesn't really matter. The only thing that really matters is the woman sitting across the aisle from me now. 6 years ago, I didn't even know if she'd show up at the airport to greet me. Today, she's wearing my ring and flying home with me. That's the only upgrade I care about. Airbus 350-900, the same aircraft we flew here on. We know what to expect now. Decent legroom, even for my 6'2" frame. Blanket, pillow, socks, eye cover, dental kit. They give you everything you need. We departed almost an hour late, 8:18 instead of 7:25 p.m. And before you know it, we're airborne. Manila disappears beneath us. Now, 16 and a half hours to New York. There's something about long flights that make you reflective. Maybe it's the hum of the engines. Maybe it's the forced stillness. Nowhere to go, nothing to do but sit in your thoughts. 5 hours into the flight, I couldn't sleep. Melanie was across the aisle, headphones on, eyes closed. Most of the cabin was dark. People draped in blankets, trying to escape the next 11 hours. And my mind wandered back to May 2019. That risk, that single brave moment I mentioned earlier, it changed everything. But here's what I haven't talked much about on this channel. How terrified I was. How close I came to not even going. I was 51 years old, divorced, career winding down after 35 years of crisscrossing the country as a traveling salesman. I'm tired, I'm alone, but content. And I've been video chatting with this beautiful 21-year-old Filipina for 5 months. 5 months of daily conversations, learning about each other. And now I'm flying halfway around the world to meet her, in person, for the first time. The doubts were relentless. What if this was all some elaborate long scam? I'd heard the stories. Western men getting catfished, losing money, looking like fools. What if I get there and she ghosts me? What if I'm standing in the Tacloban airport, scanning the crowd for a face I've only seen on a screen, and she never shows up? What kind of idiot travels the other side of the world for a young girl who might not even show up? But it wasn't just about being scammed or ghosted. There were deeper fears. What if she is real, but there is no chemistry? The magic we had on video calls evaporates the moment we're face to face. What if she takes one look at me, this bald old American guy with more salt than pepper in his goatee, showing too many miles on him, and she realizes she made a mistake? And her family, oh my God, her family. She lived in a small remote village on the side of a mountain on Bilaran Island in Leyte. I was flying from Manila to Tacloban, and she was meeting me there with her brother and sister-in-law. I'm sure in part to make sure some weirdo American doesn't abduct their little sister. But then we went to her parents' house. What would they think of me? This foreign man, 30 years older than their daughter, showing up at their door? Would they see me as some creepy old guy trying to take advantage of their younger daughter? Would they even let me in their house? Or would I be standing there awkward and unwelcome, wishing I'd never come? And then there was the fear of looking like a fool. No, actually being a fool. I hadn't told anyone. Not my friends, not my family. Nobody knew I'd been talking to Melanie for 5 months. As far as they knew, I was just taking a solo international trip to the Philippines. Some crazy midlife crisis adventure I dreamed up on my own. Because how do you explain it? How do you tell people, hey, I'm flying to the other side of the world to meet a 21-year-old girl I met online? They'd think I'd lost my mind. They'd warn me. They'd tell me all the way things could go wrong. So I kept it to myself, and I boarded that plane in 2019, terrified and alone, second-guessing every decision that led me there. But here's the thing. That door that opens to the life you really want, it's not made of glass. You can't peek through it. You can't see if there's paradise on the other side or just a long drop into the abyss. It might open to the woman, the love, the second chance you've always hoped for. Or it might open to the biggest humiliation you've ever felt. And there's only one way to find out. You have to grab that handle with both hands and yank the son of a bitch open. I did. That's why I call it my single brave moment, because I said, fuck it, and I ripped that damn door off the hinges. Some of you are standing at that same door right now. I know, because you're still watching. So what are you waiting for? Pull the damn handle. The food on PR 126 was better than PR 127.
It's a lot better, isn't it? Yeah.
Not great, but definitely better. I had the beef, Melanie had chicken. The rice was actually good. Watching Melanie eat her dinner, laughing at something on her screen, comfortable even in the cramped last row of the plane with a seat that won't recline, I couldn't help but think about the contrast. 6 years ago, I was praying she'd even show up at the airport. Today, she's my wife, flying home to our home in Virginia. I was terrified she'd ghost me, but instead she was waiting with a smile and a hug that turned my hope into certainty. Terrified her family would reject me. Instead, they put up a welcome sign and fed me for 2 weeks. Terrified the chemistry would vanish when we were in person. Yet one hug, I knew my life had changed forever. Every single fear I had in 2019 got proven dead wrong. I feared I was walking into darkness, but I actually walked into the best part of my life. At one point during the trip, I asked her about us starting up this channel. Did she like doing this? Should we keep going or just put down the camera? She took a long time to answer. I sat there waiting, certain she was weighing it all. The time commitment, the struggles, the minimal views. But when she finally spoke, her answer floored me. She wasn't thinking about views or subscribers or growing the channel. She was concerned about me, my health, about how I was staying up late, editing videos, not getting enough sleep, pushing myself too hard. She was worried about me, not pondering the pros and cons of putting our relationship on YouTube. That's the woman I married. She doesn't complain, she doesn't nag, she doesn't constantly remind me that she'd rather be living in the Philippines. But I know, I see it in her eyes when we're there with her family. I hear it in her voice when she talks about home.
And Melanie asked the ladies whether or not they would want to move to the home country of their foreigner or stay in the Philippines. And they answered, and then Melanie said that she really wants to move back to the Philippines. If Daryl wants, whatever Daryl wants, wherever Daryl is, that's where I'm gonna be too. It just really showed me what a good woman she is, how lucky I am to have her.
But I really want to move here, yeah, that's true.
You want to settle here?
I want to settle here, yeah. If Daryl wants, but then if he don't want, then I can just, whatever. No matter where he is, I'll be there with him.
No matter where he is, that's where I'm going to be. Those words meant everything to me. She moved to America for me, left her family, her culture, her comfort zone. She navigated the awkwardness of meeting my family and friends while being insecure about her English. She adjusted to a country where the winter is cold, where she doesn't have her support system nearby. Yet she never complains. She never throws it in my face. She never uses it as leverage against me in an argument. She just loves me, supports me, follows me home. And I almost didn't go. I almost let fear win. I almost stayed home in Virginia, convinced myself it was too risky, too crazy, too unlikely to work. All of this marriage, this life would have been lost. Gone, because I was too afraid to take a chance. For you watching this, maybe you're where I was in 2019. Maybe you're sitting in your recliner, divorced, alone, worked hard and long your entire life, watching videos like this one about a far-off land where it's warm, cheap to live, where older, stable men like you are actually valued and appreciated. Maybe you're thinking about taking that trip, but the doubts keep creeping in. Let me tell you something. Those fears are real. The risk is real. It might not work out. I won't lie to you and say every story has a happy ending, but I will also tell you this. If you don't go, you'll never know. And that's the bigger risk. We landed at JFK Terminal 1, on time despite the late departure from Manila. Philippines Airline made up the hour in the air. 16 and a half hours in the air, our bodies didn't know what time zone we were in anymore. But we had one more leg, multiple legs actually, taking the air train from JFK to Jamaica Station, Long Island Railroad to Penn Station, then Amtrak Northeast Regional 151 for the 8-hour ride home to Virginia. It was 1 a.m. We had 3 hours to get from JFK to Penn Station. The air train was easy, Clean, efficient, runs every few minutes, $7 each, paid with a tap on the phone. 10-minute ride, gliding above the tarmac, watching planes take off and land in the distance. Jamaica Station at 1:30 is an experience. Even at this hour, people are moving. Commuters, travelers, shift workers heading home. Long Island Railroad to Penn Station, $8 each. Track 1 departs 1:36.
All right, we just barely made the 136 train. So now we're on the Penn Station.
Yeah.
I think it's roughly 45 minutes, something like that.
45 minutes, you think?
I think that's something like that. So it's 1:40.
Yeah, okay. So we still have a lot of time.
And we'll get there like 2:15, and then the Amtrak leaves at 4:09. So really the timing's perfect. It's soon enough, but not so soon that it's super stressful.
Penn Station at 2:30 in the morning is surreal. A few scattered travelers, some security guards, one coffee shop open. We found bathrooms, we grabbed snacks, and we found our platform. Amtrak Northeast Regional 151, departing 4:09 a.m. Final destination, Roanoke, Virginia. Our stop, Lynchburg.
All right, it is 2:32, and we're here at Amtrak. So it worked out perfectly. We've got an hour and a half. We got a few snacks. So far, everything's worked perfectly.
4:09 a.m. came. The train pulled out of Penn Station right on time. 8 hours of gentle rocking, the rhythm of the rails, the world blurring past the windows as the sun came up over the East Coast. We found seats. The train was fuller than we expected. Both of us too tired to care. She put her head back, closed her eyes, and was asleep in minutes. I watched her for a moment, this woman who followed me halfway around the world. And I thought about all the guys watching this who are where I was in 2019. Scared, unsure, wondering if they should take that risk. As the train rolled south through New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and into Virginia, I sat there in my thoughts. This past 6 years of my life, this marriage, this second chance at life, let me tell you what would have been lost if I hadn't taken that risk in 2019. I wouldn't have Melanie, obviously, but it's more than just that. I wouldn't know what it's like to be loved the way she loves me. I wouldn't have experienced Biloran and Sambowen and El Nido and Coron. All of these places that are now part of my story because they're part of hers. I wouldn't have this channel, this platform to share our story and hopefully to give hope to other guys who think it's too late for them. I wouldn't have learned some Tagalog phrases and developed a taste for adobo and sisig. All of that, gone, never existed, lost to fear. Because I was too scared to look like a fool. Scared of being scammed, scared of what other people would think. So here's what I want to say to you. If you're watching this and you've been talking to a Filipina online, or if you've been thinking about taking that trip, if you've been wondering whether it's worth the risk, let me be clear. I can't promise it'll work out. I can't guarantee she'll be genuine, or that you'll have chemistry, or that her family will accept you, or that you won't get hurt. Love is always a risk. Cross-cultural love is an even bigger risk. But I can promise you this, if it does work, it will bring you more contentment than you ever thought possible. And it can work. We are proof of that. I can also promise you this, if you don't go, you'll spend the rest of your life sitting in your recliner dying slowly, always wondering, what if I'd taken the risk? And that regret, that's the bigger risk. I was divorced and burnt out when I took that chance, expecting to spend the rest of my life alone. If it wasn't too late for me, it isn't too late for you. Book that ticket. Do your due diligence, yes. Be smart. Be cautious. Protect yourself. But don't let fear be the reason you never try. That same door I stood in front of in 2019 is staring you in the face right now. It's still not made of glass. You still can't see what's on the other side. But I'm on the other side now. And I'm telling you, grab that handle with both hands and rip the damn thing off the hinges. One single brave moment. Your single brave moment. That's all it takes. One decision, one flight, one leap of faith. And maybe, just maybe, 6 years from now, you'll be the one sitting on a train, exhausted but content, watching the woman you love sleep across the aisle, and thinking, thank God I was brave enough to try. We made it home, exhausted, happy, grateful. 6 years ago, I took the biggest risk of my life, and it gave me everything. Don't let fear rob you of your second chance. If you're feeling stuck, burnt out, or heartbroken, I want you to know there's another chapter waiting for you. Your story isn't over, it's just beginning. Thanks for coming on this journey with us. If this resonated with you, hit the subscribe button. Drop a comment and tell me your story. I'd love to hear it. Until next time, keep traveling, keep loving, and keep believing in second chances. Talk to you soon.
No. No, look, you're
So cute.
ridiculous.